I really do believe that the Great Commission is a commission to even evangelistic martyrdom. Oh, the Great Commission, we need to do the Great Commission. We're going to go and baptize and teach and die. And die. There's no ambiguity whatsoever in the Gospel of Matthew. Weaving through that narrative, Matthew chapter 16. Hey guys, I just want to ask you, do you know who I am? Yeah, I know who you are. Well, you know what? I'm going to die. And from that point on, he began telling them, I'm going to die. Then after he did die, he went back to them and he said, hey guys, I got a great plan. You're going to go do the same thing. And if we don't fully disciple people, not having enough money and people attending church on a regular basis is going to be the least of our problems. God is calling us to evangelistic martyrdom, where we are fully dying to our ambition, to wealth, to success. I tell you what, I have a very good friend. His name is Errol Stepp. He's a hero of mine. Errol Stepp is the executive director of the Christian Church Starters, an evangelistic association in Albuquerque, New Mexico. My friend Errol, when he retired from the church that he had started, became full-time director with the Evangelistic Association. At 70 years of age, he went and started a church in Madrid, New Mexico. Now, you might not have heard of Madrid, New Mexico. Madrid, New Mexico is an old ghost town that was taken over by hippies, and it's a huge gay community. It's an artist community. But they celebrate the fact that we have kicked God out of our city limits. Well, do you know what my friend Errol Stepp did? 70 years of age. He went and he started a church in the bar. It's the only place he could find to meet. Started a church in the bar. Here's the bar. You might have seen this bar on the movie Wild Hogs with Tim Allen. So he's my hero because at 70 years of age, he went and said, you know what? That town needs a church. Starts a church in the bar, and he's baptizing shaman priests in that bar. My question to you is, are you willing to embrace evangelistic martyrdom and kill yourself for the kingdom, metaphorically and spiritually, and sometimes literally? Because if you're not, you're never going to create disciples who are going to follow in your wake, because everybody is going to be about as half as committed as you and I are. Let me conclude by telling you this. When we moved to Philadelphia, I thought that we were moving to Philadelphia just for our church. We moved to Philadelphia. My wife was our children's pastor. When our church started, we had no one. Last year, we had a kids camp every summer. We do it every summer that had 1,400 elementary kids. It's all run by the staff that my wife recruited, led to Christ, developed. She felt called after 5 years to go back into the public schools. You know, Ben talked last night about if you're going to go to beyond, what do you have to do? You got to leave something behind, right? She felt called to go back into the public schools, and she's always had a heart for economically disenfranchised and hurting kids. And so of all of the beautiful, nice school districts that she could have picked from, she took the crappy one. She's teaching 6th grade science, getting ready to become a principal. Well, after she started teaching, she started getting love notes from a kid named CJ. She came home the first day of school. She held up this note. She was like, you got some competition. I was like, what are you talking about? So I opened it up. You have the picture. Take a look at the picture. Here's the front. Here's Mrs. Jones and CJ holding hands with Mrs. Jones. I open up this letter. I start reading it. Miss Jones, you are the sweetest teacher ever because you're funny, famous, awesome, smart, sweet, brilliant to me, Mrs. Jones. And you have the beautiful brown eyes and the beautiful, good-smelling brown hair, Miss Jones. Miss Jones, you look beautiful as I ever saw you. You smell like flowers because you look awesome to me today, Mrs. Jones. I love you as my teacher because you are really, really awesome today, Miss Jones. Mrs. Jones, you are smelling really, really, triple really nice today, Miss Jones. I love how it concludes. Can you read this? Mrs. Jones, you are a famous and awesome movie star to me, Mrs. Jones. I put that note down. I said, I want you to give that kid a message for me. One more note and I'm knocking you out. She said, I'm not going to do that. And I said, why? And she said, he's got cancer. I used to think that we moved to Philadelphia for our church. I think now it's just as much for the ministry that my wife has in the local school system. What do you need to do to go to beyond? Do you really believe in hell? I mean, like seriously. Do you really believe in the Great Commission? Do you really believe he's with you right now going back into your community? Then if so, there are 5 billion CJs just waiting for us.